violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Kevin, how's it going?
I'm all right. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26. Single or married?
I haven't, so I'm not single.
Single or married means you're single. Then you're okay. You're single. Okay. All right. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a real estate investor.
All right. Have you been here since the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay. Change my mind.
I have. All right. So I got a few points here. One thing that I do want to say is that if you're a guy and you don't have much experience with women, I don't think you should be out here trying to pay for play. Because if you're a guy and you don't have much experience, a lot of women who are in that industry, they are of an attractiveness level that is higher than what you're used to. And you may get attached. You may have that emotional tie. There might be a whole bunch of other different factors that would, I guess, hinder you from detaching from that woman, especially if you're not an experienced guy.
Okay, hold on. Make it simple. You should not do this because you get a better woman than you could get without your money.
I think that the GFE, the girlfriend experience, can be eventually dangerous for men who don't have experience.
Dangerous how? Dangerous how?
From an emotional standpoint, you know, a lot of guys who don't have experience, if they're not used to dealing with an attractive woman at that level, then they may get attached to her, and now that becomes an addiction that could drain your pockets.
No. Have you ever experienced what I'm talking about?
Have I ever bought a chick?
Do you know the entire thing I lay down? Do you know anybody that's personally done that, or have you ever experienced it?
I do know guys who have personally done it. I haven't experienced it personally.
Okay, now there's a difference between, I'm not talking about people you find online.
Yeah, people in my personal life.
First of all, the girlfriend experience, they may become attached. So your argument is, if you're not good with women, you shouldn't deal with women who provide the girlfriend experience. I still don't understand, because you may get attached to it. I don't understand the argument.
Because it's a sense of reality, right? Like, and I'm referencing a story that I.
No, it's not. You're paying somebody for a service. See, one thing that a lot of you guys do in this argument is you act like these guys don't know what they're doing. You go, you ride the roller coaster. It's like saying, don't go get in bumper cars, or don't go to Texas Motor Speedway and drag race on the drag strip, because you can't drive a car that way. That makes no sense.
I think I would liken it more to gambling, because it's something that's an addiction. And
No. That disingenuous. Plenty of people gamble every day and it doesn't become an addiction. Just because it can become is not prohibitive.
Yeah. But when you're relying when you're relying on a woman that you have to pay to fulfill all sexual desires, I think
Who says
that
they're relying on them to fulfill all? See, what I hear you guys talk about is you guys take this guy with this money. He has money, but he is completely socially awkward and naive. And these women are going to just prey on him. Y'all make up the most extreme example to make a point to be anti-pay to play. That's not how this works. So a man
Well,
can be no. That's why I say this is why you really can't be a young guy in this. We're talking about men who are like vice presidents, senators, governors. We're not talking about 24-year-old dudes who just make money in crypto. But even if we do, you still have to. You're around these spaces a lot. Tell me why it was okay for Tom Likas to do it.
I mean, I'm not saying that morally, it's wrong to do.
I didn't say it was morally. I'm just saying Tom Likas. Tom Likas. Could he get the woman? Tom Likas would openly tell you, I deal with women I could never get without my money. I have my Likas 101, my rules, my this, my that.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't have any problem with that in particular.
Okay.
Mine is if you're a guy and you don't have that resolve of Tom Likas, because, don't get it messed up. Tom Likas did the game, even though he couldn't get it based off of his physical appearance. So he was able to detach himself emotionally from that situation. But if you're a guy of little experience, and I know you're talking about, execs who are socially awkward and whatnot.
I know what you're talking about, and you guys keep ascribing me in these motives where they're just these doe-eyed, don't deal with these women. Here's my problem with you guys' argument. Y'all put superhuman powers on women and act like they're sirens. They can manipulate. You care too much about what women think. This is why I don't like this lust and genuine desire. Because if you'll pay her and then she'll go talk about you, why the fuck do you care what she's saying when she's not around you?
Well,
I guess what I don't understand is you saying if a man is not that experienced with women, okay, fine. He's not that experienced with women, but you're making so many hypotheticals. He's not that experienced with women. She provides the girlfriend experience. It can develop, it has the potential to develop into a level of addiction to where that he can't replicate in the real world with the woman?
Yeah, I mean, it could mess him up in the future dealing with women that he actually might take seriously.
That's what I don't understand. If we're supposed to be so diehard in the men's space, then unless you get a woman and you are her first and imprint, you're always going to be second.
I mean, it's not even second. It's more about you being able to keep that attraction with a woman that you're not paying for. Because if you're in this experience where you're continually paying for a woman,
why is it a zero-sum game? Why do you guys assume that it's either you pay for an experience and you leave? Your life is over here. This is why this tricking argument is so fucked up. Because you guys
I get that, but guys have regulars, right? They got regulars, right?
They have wives too. These guys have wives. Guess what? These guys
That's a different level, though.
No. This is the level I'm talking about. Because this is my point. Y'all only want to talk about the Instagram, OnlyFans, street stripper level shit because you don't understand that these guys have wives. They have many have mistresses, and they also have a girl they see on Tuesdays at the Waldorf. I'm not talking about the OnlyFans and the trying to get the bag and expose stuff. And that's what, and this conversation is indicative of the muddled nature of the tricking argument. We throw it all into one bag, and it's not.
But aren't the guys more likely to pay for play, usually less experienced? I'm asking.
No.
Okay. I mean, I was under the assumption, I understand
you're talking about it as an entire marketplace. I'm not talking. See, what I did is I took out the Instagram, OnlyFans, stripper, hustle, get the bag, because that's what we talk about when we talk about pay for play. And that's a part of these conversations. You young guys throw it all together. I explained how when I was your age, I actually found out about another world. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, this world exists. And these women are on a different. So if you watched since the beginning, what's the downside of a guy doing what I described?
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers. And it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place. Excuse me, I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo. Ain't that nigga J.
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit
That's
on.
that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
Not what you think, what I describe. Dealing with a Kelly, with a Kelly, not an Alexis. What's the downside?
Right. I mean, if you're dealing with a woman who is professional, who goes off of referrals, who is discreet, is going to keep your secrets, then yeah, I mean, I get that. I don't see a huge downside.
What's the downside? Okay, so is there?
I think the biggest downside.
No. I don't want to have a conversation about what you want to talk about. I'm asking about the way I set the table, and that's what I won't do. You can't come in and change my narrative to make. You guys can have your conversation anti-tricking how you want to. I said it this way for a reason, because you can't win the conversation because I'm going to ask you, what's the downside? And you said I don't have a problem. What's the downside?
Okay, so the downside is you spoke about Donald Trump, and he had that whole scandal where
remove Donald Trump. Donald Trump is one person in millions.
If you get to a certain level and the woman that you're dealing with is begrudged, or she feels like you did her wrong in some way, I always say that generally,
excuse me, Donald Trump did not have an escort come out begrudged. That didn't happen. I talked about they tried to run him up the flagpole with some Russian prostitute and some PP scandal. You're referring to Stormy Daniels, who was a former porn star who signed a non-disclosure agreement. He banged a porn star and signed a non-disclosure agreement. And what did you? And she's not what I'm talking about, though. She's not an escort. Okay. She's a former porn star. See, the point of what
porn stars are escorts too.
No, they're not. But they're not the same. What did I say? These women are non-attention seeking. See, that's my point. I'm just showing that you have no. This conversation is broader than you guys know. What was one of the first things I said? These women are non-attention seeking. They don't disclose. They are much more like Heidi Fleiss. And due respect, you all want to talk about Stormy Daniels and strippers and hoes and women that expose. That is not all of it.
Okay. So you said when you were
Heidi Fleiss. What's the downside of dealing with a woman like a Heidi Fleiss, who has the who has the reputation of not exposing and dealing with powerful men who can keep secrets? What's the downside? She's cultured. She's sexually experienced. She fulfills your whatever you want, the girlfriend experience. What's the downside?
I would just say that the downside could be the potential in her exposing something. That would be my main downside. Also cleanliness. That would also be
Sir, these women service your presidents, your vice presidents, your senators. If you said you've been here since the beginning, I went over They don't do 3 and 4 guys a day. If they have sex once a week, they tend to have regulars. They tend to be on a payroll. They tend to be written into people's compensation plan. So will you make room that maybe when you guys are having the conversation that you just don't understand or know about the world I'm talking about?
You know, I would concede to, okay, yeah, I'm not the most skilled in the world you're talking about. I don't have any personal in the world you're talking about.
I'm not trying to play gotcha, but what I'm trying to do is let you guys understand that you guys talk about tricking and paying for play like it's all one thing, and it's not.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Sexually transmitted disease accounted for. Exposing accounted for. What's the downside outside of once those are adjusted? What's the other downside? This is good.
I guess the only other downside would be, you know, the idea of just, dang, every time I want to bust a nut, I gotta pay $1,500 or something. That would be another downside, in my opinion.
Okay. In your opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion.
All right. Okay. And then this is where it gets personal. There are things you probably do that somebody would say was stupid. There are guys who spend hundreds of dollars playing games that somebody would call stupid. Somebody may buy a watch that costs thousands of dollars. Somebody got a Casio. That's a value judgment. All pussy costs.
Right. Well, I'm not saying it's necessarily stupid. I'm just saying as far as financially can get you in the hole if you were to get addicted to that lifestyle.
Well, but see, again, you keep going to the extremes. The addictions, and I can't do that. And if you're going to the extremes, that means you're losing the point because you're in a relationship now, right?
Yes.
So you have consistent access to sex, right?
Yes.
But there was still an upfront cost. And if let's say you're making $400,000 a year, that's $200 an hour. Every minute you're spending with that woman that's not sexual release is cost. So if you go to dinner or a movie, 3 hours, that's $1,200 you banked in relationship time. So these women come, pay, leave. And that's why that's why I never understood with this tricking conversation. I'm like, y'all actually pay more in relationships.
I can definitely see the convenience of
it's not convenient, it's efficient. It's efficient.
Okay. The efficiency of paying her to leave. I definitely get that. But I don't think that I pay more to deal with my girl. I think it's more frugal to deal with your girlfriend than a prostitute.
If it's just about sex, man, you gotta look at how much time you spend having sex versus how much time you spend talking. And man, come on, you can't even tell me those equate because I got a lady friend. And I know, man, texting back and forth, 15, 20 minutes. If you've ever had an attorney where you had to pay a retainer and they bill you in half hours or 15-minute increments, you see how fast 15 minutes go. We spend more. This is about efficiency. And that's why I'm saying, why do you think men at the highest levels do this and continue to do this? Because low risk, safety, no exposure, and they get what they want. And here's another thing. They deal with women. These women understand men, powerful men, and they are an invaluable resource into the minds of your competition. You don't get that.
I feel that.
You don't get that in pillow talking with the average girlfriend.
It's like a corporate Russian spy or something.
Exactly.
I get that angle. I definitely get that angle. I would say
go ahead and
another
bring
reason
somebody else
why.
in too. Go ahead.
Okay. I would also say another reason why these guys may deal with these women is because they may not be on the attractiveness level due to, maybe their healthcare or their age or what.
It doesn't matter.
Get the women off the string.
The only reason, and my retort to that is you don't care how attractive you are to a woman. See, I want you guys to imagine if you were an actual Genghis Khan, you were so powerful, you didn't have to care. If you could really just have sex the way you wanted to without care of pleasing your girlfriend, you'd bend her over, fuck until you wouldn't care about an orgasm. You'd fuck till you bust nut, and you get off and you go on about your business. You leave her in a wet heap. That's in our nature. But because we've got feelings for them, we want to make sure they come or whatever. You may even be one of them wet towel dudes. Give her a nice warm wet towel. These dudes fuck and leave them. Not even, they fucking be like, go. I'm serious. It blew my mind when I first saw this live. I was like, wow. I was raised on Babyface making love those. And these dudes was like, shh. Right. Anyway, different level. But good conversation, man. Well, appreciate it.
Let me ask you one more question.
Go ahead.
What advice would you give to a rookie who is trying to get into this game? Because I don't know if you're with this situation with the assistant basketball coach for Maryland who got caught up with entrapment. What advice would you for guys? You said you started, around my age
to get into this lifestyle.
Life. Yeah.
The questions you can ask, like you find them in like I found somebody because I have a fraternity brother and he was involved, so I got a referral in. This is a word of mouth kind of thing, but they tend to target attorneys, like family law attorneys might know them. You don't want to deal with criminal law. Well, criminal law attorneys might know them too, but they're kind of personal injury, dentists, plastic surgeons, dermatologists, anything in beauty, hairstylist, anything that is involved in her maintenance. Personal trainers might. A lot of these women tend to have gay male friends. So yeah, that's awkward. Because you got to look at when you see a beautiful woman hanging out with a gay guy at a nice restaurant, you got to question why she's there. Because a lot of celebrities and high-end influencers have bodyguards, big 300-pound bodyguards, and a gay male best friend. So I would attorneys. They love G-Wagons, car dealers. And then hang out in places where men with expensive watches go, and they'll be there. And and in Las Vegas, and the thing is, there's a difference between going to Las Vegas and a woman walking up to you and propositioning you. That ain't what we talk about. That's fraught with problems. And once you get one referral, it builds upon itself. And the main thing is safety first. Anybody that you involve with who's not talking about vetting, verifying, non-disclosure, keeping it quiet, if anybody looks like they're moving in a way to where there other folks are not, that person gets isolated. It's actually it's much safer. It's much safer. And people get in this world and get out of this world. And the funny thing is, a lot of times guys they'll have somebody they see, they'll kick it with them 2 or 3 times, and then they may not see them for the rest of the year. They just have to scratch that itch and go back to their world. And the girl may have retired. The girl that retired may end up selling her book of business to another. You call a number. Hey, Kelly. Oh, Kelly's retired. I'm Catherine. Oh, is that right? Hey, you're Mike? Yeah, she told me you were special. Let's meet. Fuck it. I'm telling you, man. That's why I wanted to do this, because it's a different level. It's a completely different level. And I haven't even scratched the surface of how these women tend to work with executive assistants and wives of these powerful men. I've seen men go shopping with their sugar baby, their girlfriend, experience girl, to buy anniversary gifts for their wives. Real talk. Appreciate it, fam.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll just conclude with this. I appreciate your content. I appreciate all you do. I'm you as well. And if you would allow me, could I shout out my channel?
Go ahead.
My channel is #Reclaim Your Throne. It's about fitting and dating. So just check me out. #Reclaim Your Throne. All one word.
All right. And this coming up Men's Week. So this week is going to be focused on men 18 to 34. So good stuff. That's what I wanted to hear. Good back and forth.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.